All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a totally fascinating and honestly kind of wild quarter of the internet. We're talking about places where the bizarre, the nostalgic, and the downright silly are actually transformed into serious, sustainable passive income streams. If you've ever found yourself clicking through some weird quiz or staring at a page that just infinitely loops, and you thought to yourself, who actually builds these and why? Well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to decode the precise financial blueprint behind these viral engines. 48 to 60 grand every single month. That's the kind of revenue giants like BuzzFeed have been known to pull in. And that's literally just from ads on their viral quizzes and listicles. I mean, that stat right there immediately proves a major point. Building unconventional, highly shareable web content isn't just a quirky gimmick. It's not just a fun hobby. When you engineer it correctly, it's a highly lucrative business model. So what's the actual game plan here? We call this strategy passive income via viral engagement. It's essentially all about generating a really steady stream of revenue through targeted ads and affiliates just by leveraging unconventional, interactive content. Throughout this explainer, we're going to exclusively zero in on the specific monetization mechanics behind these sites. We're focusing on the money, specifically how you capture human attention and mathematically convert it into cash. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First up, monetizing humor and absurdity. Second, profiting from nostalgia and games. Third, data, communities, and cash. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with your master passive income blueprint. Let's jump right into section 1, monetizing humor and absurdity, transforming silly ideas into serious cash flow. When you're trying to monetize really silly ideas, like, say, a parody news site or some bizarre quiz that tries to guess your favorite color based on your elbow shake, you basically have two routes. On one side, you've got the absurdist humor portal. Think of your classic fake clickbait and chaotic satire. This relies heavily on in-article AdSense and novelty merchandise. But then, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have the minimalist trick site. These are those pages with maybe just a single looping animation of a dancing banana, or honestly, just blank space. They rely on a totally different, much sneakier monetization strategy using subtle banner ads and redirect networks. The secret sauce for an absurdist site is actually its chaos, because the content is just completely random, like an excuse generator or a really weird listicle. Users literally don't know where to look next. And here's the kicker. That unpredictability actually boosts the click-through rates on your above-the-fold ads. You combine that heavy AdSense placement with some affiliate links for novelty gag gifts, throw in a few sponsorships from quirky brands, and suddenly you've captured all that chaotic energy in a highly effective cash net. On the flip side, what about those minimalist sites? The absolute genius of monetizing a seemingly blank page or a site that just has one big red button is that it relies heavily on sheer human curiosity. Visitors stick around because they're trying to figure out the joke, right? Now, AdSense can be a bit tricky on a blank page, sure. So instead, you monetize by embedding subtle sponsor branding right at the bottom. Or you offer in-page affiliate escape links, basically saying, hey, bored of this? Click here to buy a cool puzzle. You can also tap into redirect traffic networks that just feed novelty-seeking users directly into your monetization funnels. It's brilliant. Moving right along to section 2, profiting from nostalgia and games. Time to cash in on those memories and high scores. So moving away from pure absurdity and into interactive engagement, we really need to look at the massive profitability of the past. The crucial point here is captured perfectly in this stat. 52% of young consumers actually prefer classic brands. Nostalgia marketing is just incredibly powerful. Building a sort of time warp website with vintage 90s aesthetics, pixel art, dial-up sounds, it's not just a fun art project. It's a highly strategic engagement driver meant to lower the viewer's guard and significantly increase their time on the page. And since your audience is already soaking in this throwback mindset, your monetization has to match that vibe perfectly. Your Retro Hub affiliate targets should be highly specific, vintage toy stores, retro game consoles, 90s music compilations. You can even secure sponsorships from soda or candy companies that are leaning into their own retro branding. When you do this, the ads feel like a native part of the web experience, which absolutely skyrockets your conversion rates. Now imagine layering gamification on top of all that, throwing in points, badges, a leaderboard. It's not just for fun, it is a highly calculated tactic. Studies actually show that gamification can double or even triple user attention. Whether it's a daily minigame or one of those endless clickers, you are actively multiplying the number of ad impressions simply by keeping the user clicking and competing. And that brings us to this wonderfully diverse revenue model. Literally every single game mechanic is tied to a cash channel. You've got interstitial ads firing between game rounds. You have affiliate links directly tied to the gameplay, so if it's a cooking minigame, you link out to kitchenware, right? You can even sell premium power-ups sponsored by brands. The engagement fuels the gameplay, and the gameplay triggers the revenue. It's a perfect loop. All right, section 3, data, communities, and cash. Let's talk about leveraging niches for sticky readership and revenue. Here's where we dive into those deep, nerdy niches to create what we call sticky readership. If you build a data-driven visualizer, you are capitalizing on the fact that interactive visual content actually pulls in about 53% more engagement than a standard static block of text. By dynamically mapping out quirky trends like, the popularity of dad jokes by state, you keep users clicking, toggling different data layers, and really exploring. And the longer they explore, the longer they are exposed to your hover card ads and your sidebar banners. So, how exactly do we monetize all this data? Well, you turn that really cool infographic into a highly targeted lead generation machine. Beyond standard AdSense, you can embed affiliate links to related tech courses or books right next to the data itself. If the chart is about coding, boom, link to a JavaScript course. You can also attract premium sponsorships from analytics firms who are desperate to reach your data nerd audience. This is high-value, super niche monetization. Now, when you pivot from data to user-generated communities, think collaborative meme makers or Mad Libs. The dynamic shifts completely. When users build the content themselves, they get invested. They form a fiercely loyal readership. And that loyalty, that gets monetized through sticky display ad networks, themed affiliate promos tailored directly to that specific community's inside jokes, and selling premium pro features like custom profile badges or extra design tools. And finally, section 4, your passive income blueprint. Let's map these concepts straight to the cash. To build a truly unified strategy, you have to map these weird, unconventional features directly to their specific cash pipelines. Just look at how an absurd humor portal maps its silly quizzes straight to heavy AdSense and gag gifts, while a minimalist trick site pairs infinite scrolling with subtle redirect portals. Every single website concept here uses a very specific psychological hook, whether that's curiosity, nostalgia, or competition, to keep the user on the page and drive them toward a designated core monetization channel. It's basically a structured approach to monetizing human nature. Which brings us to our final thought for today. You've seen the data, the mechanics, the whole blueprint. Next time you catch yourself doom scrolling some bizarre website or taking a completely random quiz to find out what type of artisan bread you are, remember, someone on the other end of that screen is turning your curiosity into cold, hard cash flow. So the only question left for you is, are you ready to stop scrolling and start building your very own absurd passive income engine? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.